Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. 3 years ago, the United States issued a ban, barring all high-end lithography machines and chip equipment from China. At that time, everyone thought China's chip industry was doomed. But in the summer of 2025, Yangtze Memory Technologies, YMTC, dropped a bombshell, a fully domestically produced production line, with trial production expected in the second half of the year. The news stunned the world. In the past, we relied entirely on Samsung, Micron, and Intel to buy chips. They've monopolized the market for decades, with a mountain of technology patents. Anyone who tried to enter was kicked out. The slightest movement in China was immediately suppressed, leaving even a breath of fresh air. But this time was different. There was a key figure behind this, Zongliang. A graduate of Peking University, with a degree in microelectronics, he went to work for Samsung in South Korea for 7 years. He had the opportunity to stay abroad, earning millions annually and enjoying generous benefits, but he always had one thing in mind: ensuring China had its own chips. In 2010, he resolutely returned to China and joined the Institute of Microelectronics of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. At that time, the domestic semiconductor industry was practically blank, with few decent factories. Someone asked him, "Why are you putting yourself through this?" He simply replied, "This is something the country needs." In 2016, the Chinese government invested $24 billion in a major project, Yangtze River Storage, with a single goal: to create China's own flash memory chips. Zongliang was hired as chief scientist, with a clear mission but numerous challenges. 3D NAND technology was completely new in China. The number of stacking layers, charge traps, circuit design, all presented challenges. Not to mention the foreign blockades, which meant it was impossible to buy equipment or import materials, completely disrupting the supply chain. But the Chinese never resigned themselves to fate. The more others blockade, the more determined China becomes to break through. Just like when they built the atomic bomb, they gritted their teeth. Zongliang and his team spent every day in the laboratory. After repeated failures, their hair turned gray. A flash of inspiration struck them, and they came up with a new architecture, stacking. Simply put, it involves separating the chip's memory unit and control circuitry, and then piecing them together like building blocks. This seemingly simple idea broke through the international patent blockade. It increased speed by 50%, shortened production cycles by 1/5, and saved significant money. In 2017, the first 32-layer chip was successfully taped out. 2 years later, 64-layer chips entered mass production. By 2022, they'd soared to 232 layers. The capacity of a single chip soared to 1 terabyte, significantly outperforming their competitors. The world was on edge. The US immediately added Yangtze Memory Technologies to its entity list, prohibiting US companies from supplying it. Even major customers like Apple were scared away, and their market share plummeted from 3% to 1.5%. But Zongliang remained unfazed. He said, "Can't buy foreign equipment. Then make it yourself. With national support and corporate collaboration, the battle for domestic substitution has begun. North Huachuang is developing etching machines, AMEC is handling MOCVD, ACM Semiconductor is responsible for cleaning, and Huahai Chinka specializes in polishing. One name after another, they have risen from obscurity to center stage. In just 3 years, all the equipment that once held back the industry has been replaced by domestically produced products. In 2025, Yangtze Memory announced, its entire production line will be assembled entirely with domestic equipment, with trial production beginning in the second half of the year. This is not just a technological victory, but also an awakening for the entire industry chain. Once oppressed, they are now fighting back with a powerful combination of punches. Those who once followed the US in shouting, "Chinese chips are no good," can now only watch in amazement. They don't understand why the blockade has forced the strongest to emerge. The truth is simple. True strength fears no oppression, only fears giving up. As long as the heart beats and the dream remains, no matter how difficult the road, one can forge a path forward. Watching the gradual development of China's chip industry has left me deeply moved. It's not because of its impressive capabilities, but because of its genuine unyielding spirit. China wasn't born strong. It rose again and again after being knocked down. Today's technological breakthroughs aren't the result of luck. They are the product of countless hard-earned nights, immense pressure, and gritted teeth. This world doesn't easily give anyone a green light, but as long as you dare to move forward, one day you'll stand in your own light. The Chinese chip industry has gone from being blocked to breaking through. Zongliang led his team in developing the stacking architecture, achieving a technological leap. In 2025, Yangtze Memory announced the launch of a nationwide domestically produced production line, fully replacing domestic equipment and breaking the international monopoly. This is not only a technological triumph, but also a wake-up call for the entire industry chain.